Hello everyone, welcome back. So far we have covered different essential nutrients, different fertilizers, and like nitrogenous fertilizer, phosphatic fertilizer, potassic fertilizer, even some micronutrient fertilizers we have also discussed. And we have also discussed about different terminologies regarding fertilizers. Now today we are going to discuss about different approaches of fertilizer application in the field. So first one is fertilizer dose. Okay, so I think some problem is there. Yeah, let me just drag into the topic. So today we are going to discuss about different approaches of fertilizer application in the crop. So fertilizer dose, that means that is called recommended dose of fertilizer that is being calculated by different research activity. I mean, suppose we need to standardize the nitrogen dose for any crop, so we have to take different different dose of nitrogen, and we have to test which dose is I mean it is producing physically optimum as well as economically optimum yield. So both are different, but see, we always target for some eco and balance between economic and physical yield. So basically, I think you are not aware about physical and economic optimum. So basically, uh, when we are trying to optimize the any fertilizer schedule, we try to conduct a research on omission trial. So suppose we are trying to conduct research on let's say nitrogen dose. So we have to take some control, that is N0, where we will not apply any nitrogen. Then let's say N30, then N60, let's say, then N90, N 120. Suppose these are 30 kg, 60 kg, 90 kg, and 120 kg nitrogen we are applying to the crop. Then all other factors we will try to keep constant, so that that will the effect of nitrogenous fertilizer, the varying degree of nitrogenous fertilizer, that will be prominent. Okay, so these are our treatment, and based on this treatment we can get fitting curve or response equation, and based on the equation we can get physical as well as economic optimum, and we can standardize which dose is actually better for any particular crop. Okay, so that is called fertilizer dose. This is how we can standardize the fertilizer dose. Now, crop nutrient requirement can be fulfilled by either soil contribution, that is inherent soil fertility. Another one is fertilizer application or manure application, whatever you can apply. And they're basically the source of nutrient. If the soil is that much not that much fertile, so we have to externally supply some nutrients through organic manure or through fertilizer application, that is inorganic means. Okay, so soil contribution we can judge by different soil tests. Suppose for nitrogen availability, we can go for Geldal soil distillation process. For phosphorus analysis, we can go for Braze or Olsen's extraction followed by spectrophotometer determination. For available potassium, we can go for 1 normal ammonium acetate extract and followed by flame photometer analysis. For micronutrient estimation, we can use atomic absorption spectrophotometer, etc. So different nutrients we can estimate different availability of nutrient through different extractant as well as determine through different lab instruments. Now there are three major concepts for fertilizer recommendation. One is maintenance concept, which tells about fertilizer recommendation based on maintenance fertility. That means what is the fertility status of the soil, and to maintain that fertility status or to maintain the status quo, how much fertilizer we need to apply. That is maintenance concept. Then cation ratio concept. So for optimum crop growth, proper cation ratio should be maintained in the soil. So if any cation is in deficit or it is in less quantity, then we have to fulfill that cation. So so optimum calcium, magnesium, potassium and hydrogen ratio, it should be 65 is to 10 is to 5 is to 20. Okay, optimum calcium magnesium ratio 6.5 is to 1, calcium potassium ratio 13 is to 1, and magnesium potassium ratio 2 is to 1. So this is just a recommend just one example. I mean, this type of ratio varies from crop to crop, from soil to soil, from different location to location. Another one is sufficiency level, mostly followed approach. This is the mostly followed approach where crop response to applied fertilizer is considered. What does it mean? So basically we will apply, as I was mentioning, different nutrient dose we will apply, and where the crop is getting maximum output, we are getting Based on that, we can recommend the fertilizer dose, and that is called recommended dose of fertilizer. Another approach is soil test based recommendation. That is, we will analyze the soil. If the soil is having low fertility status than optimum, then we can apply another 20 to 25% extra nutrient through fertilizer. If the soil is high in nutrient status, then we can reduce the fertilizer dose up to 20 to 25%. Okay, if it is moderate status, then whatever recommendation is there, that we have to provide. Now, uh, as I was considering the response equation, so there you have to derive the equation. Like, this is a quadratic equation. Basically, the response of fertilizer on yield, that is quadratic in nature. So you have to find out that physical optimum and economic optimum by equating the derivative of that response curve with the economic value of nutrient and economic value of produce. Okay, so basically dy by dn, you have to equate it with the price of the unit nutrient and price of the output, that is grain. So by following that, you can get economic optimum. Then coming to soil test crop response approach, that is STCR approach, and here we analyze the soil contribution as well as yield level is considered. It is also called rational fertilizer or prescription approach of fertilization. It is developed for different regions with different equations for NPK status. Okay, now here, what are the drawbacks? Drawbacks are like equation not available for different crops with different regions. So for some crop or few crops, for a few reasons it is available, but not, it has to be developed for all the crops and for different locations. Okay, and it is suitable only when available NPK estimation by potassium permanganate, Olsen, and ammonium acetate methods respectively. So in other cases, it is not valid. Okay, if we are analyzing the nutrient with these standard methods, then only it is valid. Another one is diagnosis recommendation integration approach. This is another approach of fertilizer recommendation, that is diagnosis recommendation integration approach, and it was developed by Bufil. Here nutrient ratio in plant is considered for recommendation of fertilizer. Okay, so basically uh, at different stages we need to analyze the plant sample, and based on the nutrient ratio of plant sample, we will judge whether the plant is deficient in something or sufficient in something. So if it is deficient, then by foliar nutrition or foliar spray of different nutrient, we can fulfill that gap. Okay, so here plant analysis approach is considered, and it is suitable for mostly long duration crops. But it should be tested, and for short duration crop, it is not that much important. I mean, that not that much valid, right? Another approach is modeling approach. So crop modeling approach, we have to we have to develop certain model based on whatever quantity of fertilizer we are applying and how the response is. Based on that, we will try to develop different models. And if we put some data on that model, whatever, suppose this is our probable yield we want. So based on that, the model will say how much nutrient or how much particular fertilizer you need to apply. Okay, so this is basically suitable for nitrogen application. Soil contribution based on principles of mineralization depends on temperature, and it takes nutrient use efficiency into consideration. So this is also a very good approach, and it is a modern approach. Now soil test based crop response recommendation approach we have already discussed. So basically here we have to test the soil in the laboratory, and we have to categorize the soil into low, medium, high fertility consideration, and based on the category we have to recommend the fertilizer dose. Then critical limit approach, based on post study we can do that. Then nutrient deficiency symptom approach or indicator plant approach. So basically indicator plant means the plant which is most sensitive to fertilizer deficiency, a particular nutrient deficiency, that is indicator plant. Suppose for example, like for phosphorus, rapeseed and mustard is mostly used as indicator plant for phosphorus. For nitrogen, basically the cauliflower, cabbage, they are taken as indicator plant. For boron, it is sunflower. For sodium, sugar beet. So these are the indicator plants. That means when there is nutrient deficiency of certain nutrient, these plants will respond, or these plants are most susceptible, and they will show the deficiency symptom at the earliest. So that's why they are called indicator plants, and we have to Based on indicator plant, we can also apply the fertilizer. Then critical limits in plant. So here also we can analyze the plant sample, and suppose there is a critical limit of 50 ppm that should be there. If it is 30 ppm or 20 ppm, we can apply extra foliar nutrition we can do. Then leaf color chart we can also do for real-time nitrogen management. Leaf color chart are basically strips of greenness of leaf. We have to assess that by visual observation, and if it is showing less than 3 or 4 in leaf color chart, then we have to apply 20 to 25 kg nitrogen in cereals basically. Then nutrient management based on previous crop as well, we can recommend nutrient. If the previous crop was leguminous crop, then we can reduce the nutrient nitrogen application up to 20 to 25%, because leguminous crop they add certain nitrogen in the soil. Then if the previous crop was like a cereal crop or non-leguminous crop, then we can go for addition of extra 25% nitrogen. Okay. If it is previous crop, next crop will be cereal crop, or phosphorus. If it is leguminous crop, then we can add extra phosphorus to the previous crop, so that leguminous crop then need phosphorus for their root development and rhizosphere building and the nodulation. So if we are applying phosphorus more in previous crop when we are growing, we know that we are growing leguminous crop in the next crop as next crop, then we can add 25% extra phosphorus in that case. Then calculation of fertilizer dose. How to calculate the fertilizer dose? It is for straight fertilizer calculation, it is simply you can put the dose by the nutrient concentration in the fertilizer into 100. So suppose dose is 60 kg. 60 kg nitrogen you have to apply, and you are applying urea. In urea, what is the nutrient concentration? 46 into 100. So this much urea you need to apply. Then complex fertilizer, where there is any fertilizer which is complex in nature, and we have already discussed what complex fertilizer is, what straight fertilizer is. For example, DAP is a complex fertilizer. So in that case, we have to see which nutrient it is supplying the most. Suppose DAP it is supplying phosphorus the most. So we have to first calculate the quantity of DAP we need to apply for fulfilling the phosphorus need. Okay, then whatever quantity of DAP it is coming, then we have to calculate how much nitrogen is also it is adding or supplying along with phosphorus. Then that much nitrogen we have to deduct from the nitrogen requirement or recommended. Then that nitrogen we can fulfill through different other fertilizer or a straight fertilizer. Then spray calculation. Spray calculation, basically the micronutrient we are applying over canopy, because micronutrients are prone to different type of fixation in the soil. So when we are applying it in as foliar nutrition, then we are getting higher efficiency. So for foliar calculation, we need to calculate about ppm concentration, we need to know about percentage calculation. So that thing we need to take care of. Then method of fertilizer calculation. Method of fertilizer calculation, as I was discussing, for straight fertilizer there is no need to worry about, because straight fertilizer simple calculation is there. But for complex fertilizer, uh, it is more complex, because complex fertilizer contains more than one nutrient. Basically, suppose for example DAP, as I was mentioning, first you have to look into which nutrient it is supplying the most. Then based on that you can calculate, which nutrient or which fertilizer will be required in how much quantity. Then method of fertilizer application. We have discussed how to calculate the fertilizer need. Then method of fertilizer application. There are different methods we are following for different types of fertilizer. Okay. Now, what are those different methods? And different methods are due to why different methods? Because to make nutrient easily available, we must follow different strategies. To reduce fertilizer losses as well, we need to follow different strategy. Then for ease in application also, we need different strategy. So what are the factors influencing different methods of fertilizer application? Like nature of soil, which type of soil it is; nature of crop, which type of crop it is, which species we are growing; then nature of fertilizer, which type of fertilizer it is. So nature of soil, nature of crop, nature of fertilizer, these parameters they actually affect what method we should follow for fertilizer application. For example, methods like soil application. In soil application, we have broadcasting. Suppose it is a water and citric acid insoluble phosphate fertilizer like rock phosphate. We need to apply it through broadcasting. Okay. Let's say the fertilizer is highly mobile in soil, or the nutrient we are applying to fertilizer that is highly mobile. So we can broadcast that fertilizer so that it can, wherever it will fall, it can come to the root and it can supply that nutrient to the root system. Now incorporation, in case of let's say anhydrous ammonia that is in liquid form, and if we apply that in surface, then that will evaporate. So we have to incorporate that in the soil. Then band placement, mostly the immobile nutrient like phosphatic fertilizers, we have to go for band placement. Then plant placement similar. Subsoil placement, like I was discussing, incorporation, basically subsoil placement we can do that for those type of volatile substances. Then fertigation. Fertigation means applying a nutrient through irrigation water. Fertilizer along with irrigation water, generally through drip irrigation, it is being followed, and we have to take care of something like that must be highly soluble. That fertilizer must be highly soluble, and uh, there should not be uh, any material that is not soluble in water. So that might clog the drip channel or drip emitters. Okay. Now application to plant directly, root dipping and foliar spray also. Root dipping is basically recommended in case of nursery raising like in horticultural crop, and foliar spray, as I was mentioning, it is mostly followed in micronutrient spraying. Then time of fertilizer application, that is also important. So based on crop uptake, soil properties, nature of fertilizer, utilization of carbohydrate, the time is different. One is basal application, another one is split application. Basically, for phosphatic and potassic fertilizer, we go for basal application, and for nitrogen, some nitrogen we apply basally, and we split apply the nitrogen fertilizer. Okay, like one fourth, half, one fourth, or half, one fourth, like that. Okay, why it is being splitted? Because the nitrogen fertilizer are prone to different type of losses in the soil. To avoid that losses and to supply the nutrient throughout the crop period, we need to split apply the nitrogenous fertilizer. Then balanced fertilizer is utmost important in crop production point of view to increase the fertilizer use efficiency as well as having maximum output from applied fertilizer. Okay, so this is a brief idea about when to apply fertilizer, how to apply fertilizer, different methods of fertilizer application, different ways to calculate fertilizer dose. Now coming to let's discuss about biofertilizer. Biofertilizer means so the name itself suggests bio and fertilizer. Bio means living strain. If any fertilizer or formulation that contains living strain and that helps in fixation of different different nutrients or solubilization of different nutrients in the soil, then that is called biofertilizer. So biofertilizers are of different types like nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, phosphorus solubilizing biofertilizer, potassium solubilizing biofertilizer, phosphorus mobilizing biofertilizer, micronutrient solubilizing or mobilizing biofertilizer. Uh, these are different types of biofertilizer. So basically, these are microbial inoculant, and as I was discussing, they are of different types: nutrient solubilization, nutrient mobilization, and nitrogen fixation. Okay, so wait a minute. I think there is again the same problem persist. Okay, where it was. So we were discussing about different biofertilizers, right? Okay, so uh, then let's say nitrogen fixation biofertilizer. Let's say, what is the example? Rhizobium is nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. There are other non-symbiotic or free living biofertilizers are there like azotobacter. Then associative biofertilizer like azospirillum. These are some of the examples of nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. Then phosphorus solubilizing biofertilizer. It may be fungus and bacteria. Bacteria you can name a few examples like bacillus and pseudomonas. In case of fungus, aspergillus and penicillium. Then types of see when we are talking about legume rhizobium association, so basically specific type of legume is can be associated with or can be having symbiotic association with specific leguminous plant. So this is called cross inoculation group, right? So there is compatibility of leguminous plant with different rhizobium species. So based on that, we have different cross inoculation group like rhizobium trifoliate. It is suitable for trigonella, or I mean the Bursim crop. Then Rhizobium meliloti, it is suitable for Luscion crop. Then Rhizobium leguminosarum, it is suitable for the gram crop, and Rhizobium japonicum, it is suitable for soybean. So this is how there are different cross inoculation group present. How to apply rhizobium? So the application rate and method should be proper for different crops. So it can be biofertilizer can be applied through seed treatment. General recommendation is 200 gram per 10 kg of seed. So one packet or 200 gram per 10 kg of seed is recommended. Then soil application, then root dipping can be also done. Then some of the biofertilizers like BGA, that is blue green algae. So here the symbiosis and association between Anabena and nostoc is there. Then it provides 15 to 45 kg nitrogen. Basically BGA is used in rice field, BGA, azolla both. Then 10 kg of inoculum plus 3 to 4 ton of FOM and 200 kg per hectare SSP is used during inoculum. So that 10 kg again it grows and it provides this much nitrogen. Then azolla, it is a free floating freshwater fawn, and so mostly grown azolla is azolla pinnata, and heat tolerant azolla species is azolla microphylla. It also provides 30 to 40 kg nitrogen per hectare. Then azotobacter crococum, this is a free living bacteria. So basically it provides 20 to 30 kg nitrogen per hectare, and yes, azospirillum, that is one associative through, Poaceae family associative bacteria. It is also providing nitrogen, or it is also capable to fix atmospheric nitrogen. Then PSP, I have already mentioned about PSP, Pseudomonas striata, Aspergillus aumori, Bacillus polymyxa, etc. Then VAM, what is VAM? That is vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza. It is nothing but the symbiotic association between the fungus and root of higher plant. So basically, it helps in nutrient absorption and translocation of immobile nutrients in the soil. Then INM, that is integrated nutrient management. Why it is needed? Because if we are continuously applying fertilizer, then there is having definitely deteriorating effect on the soil quality. And if we are applying organic matter, solely depends on organic matter, we cannot fulfill the food demand of, food security. We cannot fulfill the food security. So we should follow one integrated approach, where we can judiciously use the inorganic form of fertilizer, organic form of fertilizer, as well as living form of fertilizer, that is biofertilizer. So in that way, we can uh, increase the efficiency of the fertilizer, as well as we can increase the productivity of the system. Okay, so so we have completed the nutrient management part. If you have any doubt regarding any aspect or any concept of nutrient management, you can let me know in the comment section. Uh, in next lecture, we'll discuss about water management. See you in the next lecture. Till then, keep reading, keep signing. Bye bye.